scene, and we refrain from talking about few sensitive topics such as sex, religion, politics, unless they're directly relevant to the discourse that's happening. The idea is not to create a controversy or a debate or any sort of environment that marginalizes any person or community. So with that, we are live on YouTube, and it is my pleasure and privilege to honor myself, the club president, to formally open the meeting. so, so here I am, everyone, the president of Quantum Leap Advanced Toastmasters Club. As we already discussed, this club is all about science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And even if our personal life disciplines are different, the idea is to rekindle the interest and make people think about the universe and the world, uh, and how does it all work scientifically. Uh, and we have been operating. Now this is our 70th meeting, so we've been operating for a number of years. It's an advanced club. The membership is open to everyone. In addition to the focus on science, we have a few segments that are unique to us. First of all, there's always a scientific keynote or educational session along with Q&A. After that, we have a Geek of the Week section. After that, we have prepared speeches, and they are evaluated uh, in our signature world exclusive advanced evaluation format, where in addition to the routine pathway evaluation, we evaluate four different aspects of a speech: visual, auditory, perceptible, and language and structure. So any person who speaks at Quantum Leap gets five evaluations. The one journal evaluation, which is more orientated towards the uh, project, project objectives, and four short evaluations that deep dive into all these aspects. We have also a very totally unique table topic section where every table topic speaker conducts a brief evaluation of the previous speaker before they are assigned the topic. So it becomes a beautiful cycle. So with that, it is my pleasure and privilege to announce that I'm also the Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. So there's no formality of again handing over to another person. And instead, I would like, first of all, our lovely guest, Beth, to introduce herself once again. Sorry for everyone else who has joined. So over to you, Toastmaster Beth.
Thank you. I've been in Toastmasters for more than 20 years. Right now, I belong to two clubs here in California where I live in the USA, and one club that's kind of international but originated in Ottawa, Canada. And I came tonight because your post on Facebook really interested me. So I'd like to visit your club.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are honored to have you. Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Amjad, please, as a matter of formality, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, TDM Talha bin Hamid. Ali Amjad. I'm a chemical engineer and environmentalist. I'm a Toastmaster for over a decade. Currently, I'm holding the position of Club Growth Director in District 122, Pakistan. And I've been an avid supporter and advocate for environment sustainability and the greater cause of living together in harmony with nature.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali. Distinguished Toastmaster Ali is also our keynote speaker for today. So looking forward to that. And Toastmaster Shahzaid Iqbal, please introduce yourself. Toastmaster Shahzaid, would you like to introduce yourself? All right, no worries. We'll come to you later. Perhaps you cannot speak right now. All right, everyone. So today's keynote and meeting theme is all about plastics and what do plastics do, how harmful they are, how useful they are, and whether we can live with or without. So, of course, our expert is here to cover that topic in minute detail. But for everyone else, what I would like to urge is to think about our lifestyle and what are the things that we do, we consume, we make, or we throw away that are adding to the climate change, to the pollution, to, and I believe everyone can agree. Of course, there's a little bit of a debate as to what is causing the climate change, but something sure is, and we are seeing evidence of it all around us. But also, uh, not only climate change, but uh, in terms of pollution, noise pollution, and physical pollution that is present in everything that we see around us, in the very soil, in the water, in the air that we breathe. That is something that's surely coming from what we are doing, right? Uh, for example, think about a can of Coke and what does it take to make that can of Coke? Its ingredients travel from all over the world. It gets mixed and bottled in a plant somewhere. Of course, we have plants in every country, so some plant in Pakistan, but that is in another city. So in order to make it to your city, it has to be transported again. Another gas guzzling vehicle will pick it up and it will transport it to your city. And after that, it will go through a series of hoops in order to make it to the store that you picked it from. And what's more, that store is keeping it refrigerated and it will keep refrigerated until you buy it. So even if it's lying on a shelf and even if it's costing like next to nothing, it is actually creating a huge environmental cost in every step of its manufacture. So, and that's true, by the way, for everything. And that is one of the things that actually convinced me that why locally sourced things are so important. I used to be not a big fan of that concept. I used to think that maybe it's more politically motivated or more inward looking, or maybe it's anti global trade. But that epiphany led me to realize that, that's not the case at all. Locally sourced means it passes through less steps and ends up creating less pollution, less disturbance than if it was imported from, let's say, across the seven seas. So it's not about global trade, it's not about protectionism, it's not about isolationism, it's all about simple physics. So, with that, I would ask our. So I've already introduced the segments. We'll have our keynote first, uh, and we'll have after that a prepared speech, Geek of the Week session, our table topics session, and finally our journal evaluation session. We have Toastmaster Latif Mansoor Ali as our language evaluator. He's not been able to join yet, but shortly he will. And when he does, he will be asked to uh, continue his role. If you can give me about 5. All right. Without further ado, now I will invite our keynote speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Ali Amjad, to take the stage. ETM Ali, my window will be the timing window. Okay. So I hope you can see it. So, distinguished Toastmaster Ali Amjad, is, of course, as he introduced himself, he's a passionate advocate, and not just for biodiversity or water conservation. I found him to be a passionate advocate for each and everything that is good in life, and well, the evidence of that is right before your eyes, because he's also a very big believer in healthy eating and fitness, and yeah, you can plainly see. Uh, a hint is that he's much older than he looks. But so there you have it. And okay, Ali, you will take 8 to 10 minutes. Okay,
Yes.
fine. I'll time you accordingly. So everyone, put your hands together for distinguished toast, and of course, he's also our club growth director for the current year. He's a distinguished Toastmaster. He's been in Toastmasters since 2012, uh, if I'm correct, right? And there you have it. Like looking at him, you would think that he wasn't even born in 2012, but but he's been in Toastmasters in 2012, and everyone can only join Toastmaster when they're 18 or older. So do the math yourself. So with that, I give the stage to distinguished Toastmaster Ali Amjad. Is life without plastics really possible? Is life without plastics really possible? Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Amjad.
Plastic, a material that is once thought to be very easy to make, it's like a revolutionary material, is now a curse. So how did that transition from 100 year, 1907, to a little more than 100 year? How did that shift happen? That's what we need to look at it in today's talk. So we all rely on plastic. Plastic is omni. You can find it everywhere. Find it in the air, in the soil, in water. Now, soil we see, yeah, if there is littering, plastic is there. Water bodies, yes, we sometime if we travel, we can see or we can find it internationally. But how come plastic come in the air and become part of an air pollution? That's really interesting. So this once considered a revolutionary material is has the properties to take it forward and is very easy to make. It is very easy to make. Also, it has good economics. So it's affordable. And the engineering properties, like you can mold it into any shape. You can make things like straws, furniture, packaging, you name it. Any material, any shape you want to make, you can make it. From a material scientist point of view, it is like a miracle. So how this plastic was invented? In 1907, the first plastic was invented. It was made by an engineer, and the first plastic that we got was a bakelite. Now bakelite is a plastic that you could find in the casing of the television as well as the body of the telephone, the old school set telephones that we used to use with the wire and the dial. So those were the very early ages plastics, the ancestors of plastics. Now when we see that they are everywhere, like you can find them, you go to a grocery store, you hardly find anything that is doesn't have a plastic in it. And we check our wallets, we have credit cards. So anything and everything you find them. So let's take a look at how we find the plastics in different places and why it has become so irresistible, and what is this issue with it. So to sustain the global population needs, the 8 billion people, and it's ever growing, we need it. But that's what they tell you, that you need it, you can't live without it. It's as important as air. But let me tell you, that's not the issue. So let's look at the 5 main issues and the places that you find plastic in. So water bodies, when plastic littering and plastic waste enters into water bodies, it chokes the waterways. So in cities, when they enter into water bodies, they choke the ways and it causes urban flooding. So in developing countries, we have seen this is a common issue, and even in the Pacific Ocean, you find a great giant Pacific patch. You can search it. It's called the giant Pacific patch of plastic. So what happens is the plastic flowing from water bodies all over the world, it enters into the sea, ocean, and at the Pacific Ocean there is a great swirl, the water swirl, and there it is greater than the size of Australia. You would be amazed. I mean, this is crazy. And we are growing it and we are making plastic and throwing them away like anything. Do you know what is the average use of a plastic? Average use time? It is less than 5 minutes. So you buy it, you take it home, you use it and throw it away. So it's between 5 to 10 minutes. And then it doesn't degrade, it doesn't go anywhere. It takes about 1,000 years, 500 to 1,000 years for different types of plastic to degrade and gets away in the environment. So it's a stark contrast. For something that you need it for just average 5 to 10 minutes, you are producing it and then allowing it to stay in the environment for 500 to 1,000 years. So it's like 50 or more times. And then it is not just that it stays there, it creates a lot of problem and it degrades and it becomes part of our environment. So it comes back to us from the food chain that we have. So that's the first contrast. The second thing is we find it in soil. So when we put our waste and it goes into the landfills and it stays there, it mixes with soil, different chemicals, water, it rains, so it gets degraded and becomes microplastic. Now microplastic is smaller in size, you cannot easily see it with the naked eye, but it becomes very fine particles, and the microplastic becomes part of our food chain, our water. So it is found in groundwaters, in the soil, and even so much so that when we eat that food, it becomes part of our body. It doesn't go away. Recent studies have shown that plastic, microplastic has been found in the breast milk. That's alarming. There is a study that revealed that on average, every human being eats the plastic of the size of a credit card every year. Some finds its way out of our body, but some starts depositing in our different body organs. So it's a human health crisis. That's why global leaders are working to solve it. And that's why at the United Nations level, we have a global plastic treaty negotiations underway for the past 7 years. What's the barrier? The barrier is the great amount of investments that have been made in terms of petrochemicals, refineries, and the plastic industry in the last 70, 80 odd years. So there is the global capitalist market doesn't want it to the plastic to be eradicated. So that's the contrast. At one point, we are on the verge of facing issues that affect every single one of us. And the other side, we have the profit, the people, the investors, the people who have invested so much and they don't want to shift away. So it's like a war. It's like a war between health advocates, the governments who want to protect people, and the other side in the investors who want to continue to make profits at the cost of human health. So this is a ongoing battle. Now let's talk about some of the solutions, what we can do. So they say that you cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that you can do. So you should go far, keep going, keep pushing your limit and do whatever you can. Another important thing is that a person should go too far to see how far one can go. So it's not about putting limit on yourself. You can be that next change maker who can trigger the global plastic treaty to be signed and come into force. And we have short term, medium term, and long term goals coming your way, which can benefit the 8 billion population. You can be the next leader. Every one of us has that ability to go like that. So let me give you three solutions, key solutions at the three different tiers which you can start taking right today. First is the individual level. So DTM Talha mentioned that we need to think about our lifestyle. So when we think about lifestyle and we can cut our plastic waste, so that's an individual level. I haven't bought a single plastic straw product which has a plastic straw in the last 7 years. How? I manage it. I make sure that I don't go for packaged food, or I try to avoid it as much as possible. Carry your own water bottle. The number of plastic bottles that are thrown each minute is staggering. It, it's like mind-boggling number. So we are the crisis. We are the reason the crisis we are facing. It is not that the government is telling you. So consumerism, and consumer has the right. So if the consumer is educated, so like I'm putting my bit of effort to educate the people who are in this room, and then you can do the same for the next, and the reaction goes on. So it becomes a chain reaction. And the developed countries now, they have it in their curriculum. So they teach the kids their civic responsibilities, and one of them is like don't buying packaged food, avoiding plastic waste, carrying your own bag, carry your own water bottle, and buy local with that minimum footprint. So that's an individual effort you can do. I have a cotton bag that I have been using for past 10 years. In 2016, I started a say no to single use bag campaign, and I've been doing it. And we have educated more than 5,000 young people around that. So we can all do that. You can do that. You can start from your own self, your own home, from your own community. So the second is the institutional level, the place where you work, your workplace. So you can make that workplace plastic free. And there are many online tools available very easy which can give you guidance. If you know nothing about this crisis, you can easily do simple research and use those online tools to get it going. I give you one tool. It's called breakfreefromplastic.org. It's a global movement. You can be a part of it. And right away, you find online tools on how you can make your institute or your facility where you work plastic free. So what is plastic free? That if you can divert 90% of your plastic waste from going to a conventional landfill. The landfill is the place where they dump all the solid waste. So if you can divert 90% of your plastic by any means, of course the means should be ethical, not that you collect all waste and take it to your backyard and just burn it. That's even worse, because when you burn plastic waste, there are even hazardous pollutants which can affect our breathing and which can affect people around. So don't ever think about burning the plastic to get rid of the plastic. That's even worse. So this is one thing. The other thing is that you can be conscious about what you buy. And when you travel, even you can have plastic water, stainless steel or reusable water bottle, your own bag, your own straws, and these products are there in the market, and they are sustainable ones, and they are not that costly. Just that the convenience thing, that who would carry. So many people, they give that excuse that it's difficult to take your own water bottle, your own straw, reusable straw, single use bag. But we all carry our cell phones, don't we? So we don't forget our cell phones at home. So that's what we can do with other things, because that matters for us. But the issue is that that doesn't affect us in the short term. So we don't think of it. But forgetting your cell phone or your other important belongings affect us immediately. That's why we are conscious about that. The third thing is community. So we are one community. You can try and talk to your community. You can gather people, make a small group, and start this movement of going plastic free. And the tool that I shared with you, and there are many others uh, which you can easily use. They are available at just one click. Download them. There are apps available. So if you find a place in your community which is littered, you can do a plastic free campaign. And there is another thing, once you can do the cleanup drive. So you go to that place, you organize the volunteers, you give them the guidelines, and then you can arrange the cleanup drive. Once you do that cleanup drive, you can collect all the waste and sit around that, make all people sit around that, and you can conduct a brand audit. So you find which brands are mostly found in those litters. And then there is a concept called EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. So for example, if Nestle is producing something and their waste is found in the community, so it's the local municipality does not have the all the the legal obligation to handle that. So in Brazil, they sued Nestle that you should handle and tell and invest in infrastructure on how to collect the Tetra Pak waste and collect it, manage it well, and dispose it off safely. So that's the important thing. EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. So that's why you can do that, and you can share the findings of your brand audit in the form of an infographic, which is also available. You just put the numbers in that app and it will generate infographic, and you can do that. So all in all, we have no excuse about contributing to plastic crisis, global plastic crisis. We have our obligation. We are the people living on this planet. We don't have any planet B that we can go and live on. Going to Mars or going to other planets is just like out of this world. Even if we want to, there is no harm. We can. But if we are, compromising on the beauty and the health of this planet, what is the guarantee that we will not litter the other planets? So while we aim to go there, we aim to explore other planets, and we have a plan to inhibit that. I'm not hindering you. Go, go chase your dreams. Be a part of those astronauts and teams who want to go and live on other planets. It's not prohibited. God has asked us to explore the universe. Let's go there. But don't take the plastic litter there. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, PTM Ali. Uh, I mean, thank you for opening our eyes. I believe it was one of the most enlightening keynotes we've ever witnessed. What I absolutely loved about it is that you did not present rhetoric, you presented concrete steps that we could take and we should be taking. So I will open the floor now for questions and answers. But before that, I'd like to make one suggestion, and that is that you suggested a number of concrete steps that we could take in our personal lives in order to at least start. You know what's the thing wrong with uh, all these things that we learn about how environment is getting affected and what we should do about it, it becomes too overwhelming. We usually we get a ton of things to do and not to do, and in the end, we end up doing absolutely nothing. So uh, I would like to make a request to you that the steps that you've listed here, you make it part of your platform as CGD, right? And float it everywhere amongst the Toastmasters community. Instead of some vague uh, thousands of things that we can do and we end up not doing any of them, we need to start doing at least 3 or 4 basic things like you mentioned. And I would like to make that request that if you use your platform to convince us to start, all of us to start doing, that will start the chain reaction that you talked about. And we'll be able to at least make a difference. So everyone, the floor is open for question and answers. Anybody who'd like please unmute yourself and ask away. Yes, yes, Toastmaster Jaya, over to you.
A very good morning.
Good.
Yeah. I have one question. When we upcycle any plastic, whether it's a plastic bottle or plastic bag, um, into something creative, uh, is it is it okay? Because after all, it's a plastic, right?
Thank you so much. So upcycling question is that we upcycle. So there are three things. There is upcycling, downcycling, and recycling. Many a times recycling is termed as upcycling. So that's an issue. Let me explain this in a quick way. So recycling is that we from a plastic bottle, pet bottle, we make a pet bottle again. That's recycling. Just like from food, when you put the waste in the soil, it becomes compost and the nutrient can contribute towards regrowing the food. So that's true recycling that nature does. That's recycling. Once you make a product, a low value product from a same product, that is downcycling. And if you make a higher value product from a same a product, that's upcycling. For example, if we recycle or do some modification and collect all the pet bottles and convert them in and heat them and convert them into plastic furniture. So plastic furniture has higher value than a pet bottle. So that's upcycling. But what happens is, by doing so, we are telling the pet manufacturers that, okay, we have found the solution to your problem, so keep producing it. So
Yeah.
that means they will keep producing more, they will keep pulling more petrochemical from the petroleum from the earth. And the petroleum and all carbon based fuels are the real reason we are facing wildfires, sea level rise, glacier melts, and all the global crises. So it's not just the plastic crisis, it's about the issue of our survival on earth. So that is why we must cut our single use plastic. Plastic as a material is not bad, but to sustain the needs of the global economy, we are all shifting towards modern lifestyle. And the so-called modern lifestyle, or a better lifestyle, takes us towards throwaway culture, like buy the linear economy: produce, get the material, produce, use, and throw it away. So that's the linear economy. Linear economy is an issue. So if we, to coming to your question, that if we get the plastic waste, so that's a fancy way of getting rid of your responsibility. So that's why these big consumer, these producers like Nestle, Coke, uh, Pepsi, and the big brands, McDonald's, they keep advocating it, that okay, we have found a solution, we are going green, we are managing our waste. That's a fallacy, that's a false solution. Don't get into their trap.
So basically, for example, when I upcycle plastic, like, the bottom part you turn into a flower. Okay. So you mean to say that in doing so, it does not solve the solution. It it will again be an bad effect.
Yeah, as I said, that this is like giving more power to those plastic producers. That's we are doing something with the plastic waste, the crisis that you have created. So you are all done, sorted. Keep going. So of course, if we do it in short term, like short term a year, that okay, we will gather all the plastic that is on this planet, and in the next 3 or 5 years, we will find a way that is less harmful for the environment and solve it. That's okay. Those are the solutions that we need. But this is not that we find it a way that we say, okay, we are upcycling or recycling your waste, and we will keep on doing it, so you continue to produce that. So that's we have to break this chain. So if we keep on adopting such solutions in the community, as a business, or even as an individual, and then we advocate for the same on maybe social media or some platform, so that tells the people that okay, plastic is not an issue. So the moment we decide that this is an issue, this is a crisis, and we need a solution, that's the point where we at least start to taking some strides towards a solution. But if we don't apprehend, we will be in this vicious cycles, and maybe 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the lane, we will stay there. So a measure of if we are on the right track is the amount of plastic being produced annually and the global projections. So the projections are not going down, they are going up. So that's why there is a legal binding treaty, global plastic treaty, that is being negotiated, and it's coming into force, which will ask governments that they have to cut their plastic, just like they are bound to cut their emissions, carbon dioxide emissions. That is the reason we are now shifting to solars. We use less electricity. We are asked to make use of daylight. So the prevention is better than cure. So that's the bottom line. So we have to prevent plastic from being produced and come into the market as much as we can.
Jaya, I hope your question was answered.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's a very interesting perspective, and again, I'm learning it for the first time here. That something that may be good. What Jaya mentioned was something that we would all tend to do on an individual level, right? Having solved the micro level plastic contamination at our personal levels, right? That okay, we've upcycled a plastic object into something else. That means that it's no longer out there in the wild, it's no longer out there polluting, and it's become something beautiful. So that means that while it looks good at the local level, at the macro level, it's sending the manufacturers a message that you can make as many as you want. So that's not the lifestyle change that we are looking for. So does anyone have any other question? I have a question, DTML. I would like you to focus a little more on uh, this whole thing called, why do we use so much packaging? I believe that's the root of most of this problem, right? Too much packaging in everything. Like, and what we can do to reduce it. I know you've covered some of it in your keynote, but some more concrete steps that we could take, because yes, you mentioned that cloth basket, and that is very reminiscent of what my father and our fathers used to do. Uh, they always used to have that one basket. They used to go out, and they always brought all the goods back in that. Uh, we no longer do that. We just bring in a bunch of plastic bags, uh, and then further plastic bags to put those plastic bags in, right? To reinforce them, and we have this habit. I don't know, people non-Pakistanis would identify with this or not, but we like to get our plastic bags reinforced with another plastic bag. The innate desire is to extract something extra from the shopkeeper. So, what do you say about that, DTML? How can we reduce plastic use for packaging?
Yeah, so thank you so much. It's a very good question, and it is something that affects everyone. As I said, that there's 8 billion population, so there's a population explosion, and it continues to grow. While we cannot do much about that on an individual level, but what we can do is we can reduce the reliance on packaged food. But that comes from the knowledge and apprehension that all packaged foods have less nutritional value than the non-packaged, organically grown, safely grown, or even homegrown. Nothing like that. These are the things that we should ultimately look up to. And with the rise in population, the land being converted into housing and other things, there will be a even greater crisis of food production. So the amount of food that we can grow in our own house uh, almost offsets the requirement of going to markets every day to buy products. So we can at least 40 to 50% of our daily need food we can grow at our own home. That's going a bit way ahead, but it is possible. The people who do it, they do it. So like we find solutions for our other needs, we can find a solution to this. And if we don't, we are in doomsday. We will face even worse crisis. So that's why the governments in the modern and developed countries, they are now working and they have made a shift towards community gardening. So community gardening, you have different patches in your community where people can volunteer, come and spend some time growing food. So up one grows and one vegetable, other grows other, and the other grows other, and they can barter that. So there is no going away to the market on your vehicle which is fossil fuel powered. So there are lesser emissions. You spend time with nature, so you have good health. You find a produce that is local. That's the shift that we need ultimately. So to answer your question, the high reliance we have is from the capitalist market, who keeps on telling us uh, on the media that if you buy local, you are in trouble because that could may not be hygienic, but that's not the case. So being a chemical engineer and environmental engineer, I can tell you that that's safer, much safer than the one which you buy in package. So that's why there in 4 or 5 countries I've seen that now they have reduced the packaging, or they have shifted the packaging towards green. So they give you some food to eat in the banana leaf instead of plastic packaging. They give you ice cream in the banana leaf. They make it like this, that it becomes a container, and then you give it ice cream it. So if you eat that ice cream and then throw away that banana leaf, that will go to a compost site, and it is not detrimental. So these are small shifts which we can make. And then coming towards the EPR thing, the extended producer responsibility. So this is from the bottom up approach, the consumer to the upside. And if we come from the top to bottom approach, that is where the producers of the packaging have a responsibility. So if they continue to grow food and pack them and sell them and continue their businesses, so as a business they have to reduce the waste. So you mentioned the innate desire of getting a plastic product in another one, so doubling that just to be more secure. Same goes with some of the biscuit manufacturers. So what they have is they have a tray of plastic where there are like 2 3 biscuits, and then they have another wrapper, and then they have another wrapper. So there are 3 layers of it. So that's why the movement I have been part of, Break Free from Plastic. So they did a math that if we get rid of the sachet culture, the sachets of biscuits, the sachets of shampoo. So if we just shift towards bigger packaging, the packaging that you can sustain for a month instead of one day. So you can just by one step, if you done globally, you can reduce the plastic waste by 30%. One action of reducing the sachet, you can come down 30%. So even if governments don't do it, the manufacturers don't do it, the consumer has the power. So if he has the knowledge, he will go to the market and buy products that are less packaged, grown organically, and they are more affordable. And once you go for a locally produced food, so you support the local economy, and that's important for your country because you're not putting burden on the imports of goods. So this is called sensible and responsible consumption. Responsible consumption is our responsibility, that we consume responsibly and don't contribute to the adverse effects of environment and climate change. So that's what it is.
Thank you so much, DTM Ali. I think that was very enlightening, especially the part where you mentioned the need, the sachet culture needs to go away. Although There is also a socio-economic reason with growing inflation. There's this whole influx of sachets now. Otherwise, we used to have big bottles, and then first those bottles started getting smaller, and then they turned into sachets. Similarly, for cookies, you very rightly mentioned that we have a plastic tray wrapped within a plastic bag that's wrapped within another bit of cardboard or plastic box. And that, then we bring it home, we have it placed into another plastic bag. So
4 layers.
it's absurd. It's absurd, actually. Every time you order something online, so anything from something like Amazon or in our case, Daraz or other uh, online retailers, uh, there is so much packaging. Even, yes, and okay, that brings me to the pin that Toastmasters sends you for 5 members and 10 members.
Yeah.
It's a pin that's wrapped within a sticky kind of plastic that's lying inside another little plastic bag. That is then inside on an envelope that has a plastic layering around it, and that is inside another envelope that is actually put in there by the courier. So you have this huge thing in a tiny corner of which is lying the actual pin. You even struggle to locate it, and you think you've received something big or amazing. It's actually just that pin that's coming in, and that's how most courier takes place around the world. That's what I've seen. So that a fundamental shift needs to be there. So anyone with any question for DTMLE, I believe we have very useful knowledge being imparted here. So, anyone who would like to ask another question? If not, DTM Sarfraz, would you like to conclude the keynote and the Q&A with a few remarks of your own?
Yeah. Thank you, DTM Talha bin Hamid. And thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Amjad. Fascinating and eye-opening presentation, along with the healthy discussion that we had on the use of plastic. And while you were speaking, I was thinking, I've seen the effort that's going on in some places where a team goes out and they're trying to gather all the plastic in the ocean, because it's killing a lot of the sea creatures. And there have been, whales or dolphins that have been found to have plastic bottles or other plastic materials inside them when they, wash up on the shore. So it was a good reminder, how we use plastic and how generate. And the plastic bag, I know in some places they're saying that they start using paper bags instead of plastic bags, because you find those plastic bags all over the city on tree branches or against the fences, metal fences. They're flying around something. And now you mentioned that instead of buying a sachet or a small bottle, buy a larger bottle. But I would like to add that also when you do that, you save money, because the per ounce, the cost is less the bigger the bottle you buy. Or in case my shampoo I was buying, it's a large bottle, and when I finished it, instead of buying another similar bottle, I bought what's known as the refill. So I didn't have to buy a whole bottle. Refill came in a different packaging, so I could just then take that and pour it back into the original bottle. So there's, like you said, several, it's just a small steps each one of us can take to make some impact on the planet that we live on. So I appreciate the presentation, keynote, and the information that you imparted to us. And thank you, DTM Talha, for leading the Q&A. And like the question that Jaya had asked, that also very thought-provoking, in the sense that sometimes we do something that we think is valuable, and it may not be as valuable as we think it is. So again, thank you all going through. And maybe in the future, you can come back and give us another talk on some different aspect of this plastic, or some of the efforts that are being done around the world. Back to you, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. And yes, DTM Sarfraz, of course, we will not let go of Toastmaster Ali Amjad, because he's one of our roster of keynote speakers. This is the second keynote speaker. And I feel the gap has been too long. So DTM Ali, you should be coming here more often, and you will be invited. So thank you so much, everyone. Now we will move on to our next segment, which is a Geek of the Week. It is a session where, and the Geek of the Week actually shares something of value that they would like to share with the audience. It can be a book or a movie or anything that they learn that is scientific in nature, and they feel that audience should learn about it. So I will go ahead with this segment myself. But if anyone else has something valuable to share, please let me know as well. So because our speaker has not joined yet, so we'll be following the Geek of the Week session with table topics. So please stay. And okay. So this is something I'd like to talk about. It's a novel by Andy Weir. He's the same person who wrote The Martian. And ironically, in fact, or perhaps appropriately, if you're aware of The Martian, it's all about how an astronaut isolated on Mars sustains himself for more than a year solely based on recycling. And what does he recycle? I will not mention here. For that, you have to read the novel. But you can well imagine that most of our problems come from turning things into something they are not. For example, as DTM Ali mentioned, the shocking realization is that our plastic comes from fossil fuels. Similarly, most of our fertilizer comes from fossil fuel. So that's why when we turn fossil fuel into fertilizer, into plastic, it cannot be then recycled into something that is not harmful. So similarly, if we recycle organic stuff into further organic stuff, I believe that will, for example, DTM Ali gave the example of packaging, plant-based packaging. Instead of creating paper cups, we just use leaves. That will be much more environmentally friendly. So The Martian was that novel where the astronaut actually recycles his own waste products to grow food for himself. And that's how he sustains himself. So this is the latest novel by Andy Weir. It is about something else entirely. It is about a human that encounters alien life, and that alien life is actually something completely beyond our own understanding of what life can be, because the aliens in Project Hail Mary cannot see. They are not aware of the concept of seeing. They can just detect sounds. They can just hear. So for them, get this, since all the stars and galaxies in the universe broadcast their presence through electromagnetic radiation, the alien species is completely unaware of it. They can only feel the heat of their own star when it enters their atmosphere. They cannot see anything. So how does one communicate when someone is not aware of the concept of seeing? They're just detecting vibrations. So this novel is one of the greatest science fiction novels that I've read. It is mind-boggling, it's eye-opening. And if the question intrigued you, that how do you communicate with someone, with a conscious being who can only listen and who can only feel vibrations and interpret them. Because electromagnetic radiation does not cause a physical disturbance. So any form of light, ultraviolet, infrared, or any form of energy is undetectable to this alien species. The universe that we see around us, they don't see. What they feel is a soup of vibrations. That's all that they have. And so this novel is all about communicating with that species and then, working with that alien species to rescue the respective planets from a menace that's threatening. So it's one of the most original sci-fi novels I've read. It presents something truly astounding and shocking, and I would urge everyone else to uh, at least try to give it a read. Andy Weir, by the way, happens to be a writer whose books are very easy to get into and read. He's not obtuse. He's not overly, heavy, right? He's a very light touch. So even if you have a passing interest in science fiction, I believe that you will find this book a very compelling read. So if no one else has anything to share for the Geek of the Week, we'll now move on to our table topic session. And Toastmaster Imran Rana, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, we are now in the table topic session, and as we all know, our table topics is little different than the usual one. I'm sure I'm audible and visible. Okay, great. So today's theme is all about plastic. So I thought, why not come up with the topics related to the theme? And let's see how it goes. Do we have a word of the day?
Oh, our grammarian could not join, so we can do without it, or you can assign one.
It's difficult to assign at this point in time. Or
Let
yes,
me let me suggest a word of the day. The
Absolutely.
word of the day could be microplastic. So bring it into your speeches. Let me give you an idea. Microplastic is a plastic that is smaller in size, and it is derived from the macroplastic that we see. So if we throw away a single use plastic and it just stays in the soil and there is rain or water, so after some time it will degrade into smaller plastic. Anyone of you heard about the plastic road being made in Pakistan? So what they do is, yeah, plastic road, because it is from a petrochemical derivative. So they collect all the plastic, single use plastic, heat it, convert it into a black liquid, and use it as a substitute for the tar that they use to make plastic. So they claim it as a success that, see, we have managed the plastic waste and we have converted it into a road. But what happens is, as it degrades, it becomes microplastic. That when rain falls, it goes into the soil and it becomes part of the agriculture produce that is being made. And even it is found in our groundwater. So the water that we drink, microplastics are found in it if it is not tested and all that. So microplastic could be our word of the day.
so thank you so much, DTM Ali Amjad, for such an amazing word. Microplastic is the word of the day. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier that our table topic session is little different than the usual one. So what's the difference all about? The difference is that the next speaker evaluates the first speaker for 30 seconds, and then he delivered uh, the speech on the provided topic. So the first speaker will going to evaluate the last speaker. So everybody, it's more like You have to speak, plus you have to listen the speaker as well. So my first target is DTM Ali Amjad. It's you.
Why not?
Okay. If plastic is so harmful, then why we prefer plastic money? If plastic is so harmful, then why we prefer plastic money? Word of the day is microplastic, and the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Microplastic is the reason we prefer the plastic money, because we want money more and more. So when it is a plastic money, a currency note, it is like small and we think we have little money. But one plastic note, when it converts into microplastic, it is like billions of it. So we can claim we are a billionaire, and that's why we would love it. But we must also realize that in abundance, not everything in abundance is good. So money, we want a lot of it. But that's not the case for plastic. Once there are macroplastic converted into microplastic, that's the issue. That's like multiplying the problem many times. So if we have them in plenty, we will have lesser healthier people living on it, more people with more issues, the microplastics entering into water bodies and into the aquatic life. So I saw a great contradiction on one of the poster where a woman was at a stall to buy the fish, and after buying the fish he asked for a plastic bag to have it, and they said the plastic is already inside it, you already have it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, DTM Ali Amjad. So my next speaker will be Toastmaster Amra Yunus. Amra Yunus, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you know the drill. You have to evaluate the speaker DTM Ali Amjad first for 30 seconds.
I
After
know.
that, I'll give you the topic.
So before I start, it reminds me of the days when our teacher used to say, listen to the first student. So because you have to start from the place he left. So it reminds me of that strategy. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, Amjad Ali, he, first of all, he started with the word usage of microplastic. That was brilliant and beautiful. And very, cleverly, I would say that he ended with the example of fish, which has plastic inside and the plastic outside. Of course, that was a very kind of smooth use of and transition of the words. Yes, I would say that plastic money, as he talked about it was plastic note. So this concept, I have a different concept of plastic money. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Amra, for your evaluation. And the topic for you is you wanted to have plastic surgery, and your husband is against about the things that starts with plastic. You wanted to have a plastic surgery, and your husband hates all those things which starts with plastic. Over to you. The word of the day is micro.
Yeah, let me. Yes, so really, after many years of marriage, I want my husband to experience my enhanced face feature, and he starts looking at me, the way he did in the early years of marriage. So I wanted to make myself beautiful. I just took this, and by the grace of Allah, I had enough money to go for the plastic surgery. But what to do that my husband is so irritated when we talk about whenever we talk about plastic. So I'm thinking how to convince him that he would, allow me to go for that plastic surgery. So I started, collecting the faces from the internet where people went through the plastic surgery and they beautiful, more beautiful than earlier. And went to him and tried to persuade that how beautiful I would look if I got this feature of mine, got plastic surgery done. He looked at me the way that he's getting some doubt on my my mind, and he said, no, I have always disliked plastic like this, and I like you as the way you are even after that many years of marriage. So over to you, TM Imran Lalla.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amra. Now we move to our speaker, Toastmaster Beth. Are you with us?
Yes.
Okay. Could we request you to turn on your video?
Yes. Just a second.
Okay, Beth, you know the drill. First, you have to evaluate Toastmaster Amra for 30 seconds, and then I'll give you the topic.
Okay, I'll try. Well, the topic you gave her was a little bit off because plastic surgery really doesn't have anything to do with plastic. But she did a very good job of explaining why she wanted plastic surgery, how she tried to get her husband to agree. And finally, he said he likes her the way she was. So she got the problem solved in what I personally think was a better way. But she took the topic that was a little bit unexpected, probably, and ran with it and did a very good job.
Thank you so much, Beth. So your topic is share a time when you persuade a runaway plastic bag. Share a time when you persuade a runaway plastic bag. Word of the day is microplastic. The stage is yours.
Oh, they make these plastic bags so thin. They just blow down the street. And I need to get it back before it turns into 1,000,000 pieces of microplastic. Or worse yet, just makes a mess and makes other people think they can just throw their bags away. But I'm not very athletic. And every time I get close, the bag moves farther down the street. And pretty soon it gets into a big street and I have to give up because there's just too much traffic. I can't safely get to where the bag is. And the cars start running over it. And I don't know what happened to that bag in the end.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Beth. That was quite wonderful. Okay, so to evaluate Toastmaster Beth, I would request DTM Sarfraz Nazir. Please evaluate her for 30 seconds, then I'll hand over you the topic.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, Beth. She answered your question. What I liked about her was we could see or imagine her actually chasing that bag. Instead of just saying, I chased it, she was taking us on a journey, huffing and puffing and out of breath something. and I like her storytelling. She started chasing it and saying that as the bag kept on going away from her, it's now turning into microplastics. So she was able to use the word. And I liked the way she closed it then, bringing, hey, it went on to a busy street and now I couldn't chase it no more. So well done.
Toastmaster Imran, are you there? His picture has.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I was just disconnected for a while. So I'm sure I'm audible, right? Your internet connection is unstable. Okay,
Yes.
great. So DTM Sarfraz, your topic. You have an important guest at home. You have an important guest at home and you're serving him in banana leaves. Word of the day is microplastic. You have guests at home and you are serving food in banana leaves. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I have a guest at home and I'm serving in a banana leaf. And I'm sure if he's not used to it, he's going to question, hey, Sarfraz, why this banana leaf? Then I'll tell him the story about the bag. The bag that Beth was chasing, it was on the busy street, and then it somehow turned around and came to our neighborhood and got under my car. And I did not know about it until there was a smell. Each time I started the car to go somewhere, there was smell, and I thought something is wrong with my engine. So I took it to the dealer, and they said, okay, we'll check it. It cost me $25. They said, well, there's a plastic bag that had gotten stuck to the bottom and it got heated up. And so they had to scrape it off and charge me $25 for cleaning it up. So I'll tell my guests that it costs me money if I use plastics. So that's why I'm using a banana. Now, what I'm afraid is that he doesn't take the banana and throw it away, or one of the kids that he brought with him takes the banana after he's done finished eating, that he throws away and he falls and slips. And then he goes and files a lawsuit against me that he broke his hip while he was at my house eating food in a banana. So I will explain to him why and maybe convince him that we don't want to use plastics that turn into microplastics. And the reason why I used the bananas. And since he's my friend, or hopefully he's a friend, that he will understand it and go home and convince his family to next time when they feed someone that they use banana as in place of bread or some other plastic container. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfraz. Now to evaluate DTM Sarfraz, I would request GK Ajay. Please evaluate DTM Sarfraz speech for 30 seconds and then I'll give you the topic.
Okay, so thank you, Imran Rana. DTM Sarfraz, sir, you well connected your topic with the topic of the previous speaker, that is Beth. And it was connected well, and you constructed your speech in a meaningful way and ended with trying to convince your guest to eat food in the banana leaves. But I'm surprised to see people talking about the banana leaf because we are habituated to that, eating food in banana leaves in India at our side. So thank you so much. And back to you, Imran Rana, for my topic.
Okay, thank you so much, DTM GK. Okay, so your topic is, you have to speak in favor of that topic, right? Plastic is as essential as life itself. Plastic is as essential as life itself. Word of the day is microplastic. The stage is yours.
Okay, plastic. is essential to our life. In the month of November, so I went to another place to attend one of my relatives' wedding. So there I was assigned a task to bring a tea, not a tea, a tea for 50 people in a container. So I took the container, took the vehicle, and went there. But unfortunately, the container is damaged. I'm not the culprit, but it got damaged for some reasons. So what the tea maker did is he prepared the tea and poured it in the plastic bags. And I was thinking, will it not melt? He said, no, sir, it has some resistance capacity, so it can hold to certain degree of heat, and then it is okay. But I did not boil the tea to that extent. I was surprised and I was doubtful whether what will happen my way back home. But after I reached home, I opened the plastic bags and poured the tea into one tumbler and then served the tea to the guests. So in this case, what I see is plastic is very, very important. It helps people, because I have to speak in favor of the topic. Actually, I'm not in favor of plastic. So it helps us to serve our needs to some extent. So I believe that plastic is to some extent helpful to us, but mostly it damages the environment and our future generations. Back to you, Imran Rana.
Thank you so much, DTM GK Ajay. So to evaluate GK Ajay, I would request Toastmaster Jaya, are you with us?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, Toastmaster Jaya, are you with us?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Would you mind if you turn on your video?
I would love to, but I'm not in a position to switch on the camera.
Okay,
Please.
no worries. No worries.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the trick is you have to evaluate. To earn the topic, you have to evaluate GK Ajay for 30 seconds.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Toastmaster Ajay, he spoke, his voice modulation was fine. He spoke well. I did not hear him mentioning the word of the day. Second, he explained, he started like how the milkman used plastic to pour in the milk. And the plastic, to some extent, as he was speaking in favor, uh, it is useful to certain extent, which I might also agree if I compare to bags, because if you pour milk in a bag, it will it will soak and it will break, tear and whatever. So in that case, plastic is good, for certain food item. So, yeah, that's all I can say. He spoke well on this. And thirdly, if he could, um, you know, as per the topic given, if he could say in a storytelling format, that would make more interesting to hear. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. And your topic is, I'm sure you're fond of tea, right?
Sorry, tea.
Yes. Okay, so your topic is, you don't drink tea, you eat plastic. You don't drink tea, you eat plastic. Please speak in favor of this. And the word of the day is microplastic.
Okay, I don't drink tea, I eat plastic. Ah, I am an animal, not a human being. I am an animal who don't drink tea, but plastic. Ha 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 ha. Can you believe it? Yes or no? Who cares? I don't care. After all, I'm an animal. I love eating plastic. I love eating different variety of plastic because my teeth are strong. My tummy is strong. My organs are strong to digest it. Can you see my body? Here, look at me. My skin is made of plastic. That's why I'm a plastic animal. Ha 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 ha. So you see, that's why I am born as a plastic animal. And I'm proud to be a plastic animal because I eat plastic and not tea. Yuck. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. This was the last topic, as I am out of plastics related to I'm out of the topics that have plastic in it. So to evaluate Toastmaster Jaya, I would request DTM Ali Amjad. Please evaluate for 30 seconds.
Thank you so much. The best thing about her speech is that she took some deep breath in the start, a little bit pause to reflect on which way she should go. That's really good for a table topic speaker, not jumping to the topic. And then she used great pauses. The word per minute was just meticulous. She tried to bring humor into it and creativity. She didn't just go the creative way, like she brought it on herself to bring laughter on our faces and stayed very thin between not going too technical, keeping it light, and we can all relate to it very well. So well done to her. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, DTM Ali Amjad. And I would like to thank you all the speakers, and I must say that you all spoke quite well. So with that, I would like to hand over the charge back to our Toastmaster of the day, DTM Talha. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran, for conducting that absolutely wonderful table topic session. I believe we not only all had fun, but it somehow also managed to expand on theme of the meeting and theme of the keynote, which is always great. So thank you so much for that. Everyone, please vote for your favorite table topic speaker. And I would make a request that if you could vote for two of your favorite speakers, that would help us arrive at a result. So I'm launching the poll, and in the meantime, handing over the charge to our wonderful general evaluator, a person who is very thoughtful, very dedicated, one of the founding members of Quantum Leap, and a district leader in many districts around the world, distinguished Toastmaster DK Ajay. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, DTM Talha. So as a general evaluator, let me check the agenda. Okay. So in terms of time, I think everyone is qualified. The keynote speaker and all the table topic speakers are qualified. Okay, thank you for confirmation. And moving on to the grammarian, I think there is no.
Yeah, he
we don't
actually
have
could
any.
not join. Yeah.
So I will submit my report as a general evaluator. The meeting started on time, and the keynote speech is very informative. Thank you so much for the keynote speaker. And I learned a lot of things about plastic and the plastic usage. And Geek of the Week, it is very informative, and I would like to go reading that book. So that's the reason I Googled and got the screenshot and shared it with everyone. And the table topics, particularly the table topics, very innovative, and it is linked to the keynote speech. This gives many thoughts, and we will brainstorm while speaking. So this is very informative and easy topics as well. And I think that's all from the general evaluator role. That's all about my report. And yeah, over to you, DTM Talha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So the results are in for our table topics. And today our table topics winner is, okay, there's a tie, but I'm not breaking the tie. I don't have the heart to break the tie. Everyone did so well. It's a tie between Toastmaster Beth and Toastmaster Jaya. So congratulations, both of you. If you could share your cell numbers in the chat, we would be gladly sending you your certificate. Or alternatively, you can message me on my cell number. I'm just noting it down on the chat box. Since both of you are not part of the guest group of Quantum Leap, we would very much like to send you the certificates. So thank you so much. And now floating the poll for the best major role player in a few moments. But in the meantime, we would like to have some comments about the meeting itself. Toastmaster Beth, if you could share your comments about the meeting, that would be amazing.
Well, I didn't know what to expect. I wanted to see how this Toastmaster evaluation worked because I also belong to an advanced club where they evaluate Toastmasters, but they have one person evaluate all the Toastmaster speakers. And it's the hardest job in the club because you don't have any time to think about one speech before the next speech starts. Anyway, this was a very interesting sounding way of doing it, and I'm very interested, and I was very impressed with the keynote. I'm interested in many of the same topics that your club is, so thank you for having me as a guest, and I'm not sure how often I'll be able to come. Your meeting starts at 10 p.m. where I live. That's one of the problems with international clubs, but I do like it, and I will think about coming back.
Thank you so much, Beth. And yes, I know it's a very awkward time for you, but at the same time, allow me to say that your verve and your energy and your pep does nothing to suggest that. You're very energetic, and we would absolutely love to have someone like you attending our meetings. So you're always more than welcome. And if you want to do a project or do a role, one thing that we missed today was our prepared speech and their modular evaluation because our speaker could not join today. Otherwise, you would have seen our advanced modular evaluation as well, which is something that, I'm not aware any other club is doing in the world because it was a format invented by our own member. So, so hope to see you in next meeting. Hint, hint, and maybe you can see that advanced evaluation as well, in addition to how we do the table topics. Toastmaster, someone who's been observing silently for quite a while, Dr. Faizan Ali. Would you like to share your thoughts?
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. It's my first time I'm joining online, and thank to Ali Amjad, Sir Ali Amjad. He's wonderful person. It's a kind of platform where you're learning very quickly, and I'm really enjoying all the clubs which it's my it's a kind of passion which I'm getting every day And today's sessions, all those sessions, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, actually, I'm on work, so that's why. So it was wonderful to hear every table topic speaker and then prepared speeches also. So I'm also learning, and I would love to join this meeting again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faizan. It was amazing to have you, and we are so glad that the meeting was useful for you. And yes, to take what DTM Ali Amjad said further, DTM Ali Amjad himself is part of online club at Salt Spring Island, Canada, and I'm associated with club in District 57 that is based in California. So, Beth, we two people from across the world are attending meetings at our 11 p.m. and 12 a.m. So get the hint. Please try to reciprocate. But again, of course, we understand, but we'd absolutely love to have you in the meeting again. Toastmaster Jaya, your comments about the meeting.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. This is my second time attending the meeting, and I like the team. Also, the best part of the meeting is I like the table topics because I believe each time is a very different and creative way, which I never find in any Toastmaster club. And that's what I like about it. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jaya. Again, I've shared my number. If you just message me, I can induct you into the club's WhatsApp group. So you can be part of the future meetings as well. And yes, Beth, I saw your message about you not having international service. Normally, in these parts of the world, we use WhatsApp, which does not require international service, right? It just requires the phone number. But I've sent you my email ID.
Oh,
If you can,
gee, I have WhatsApp. That's okay. I could give you the
yeah.
number then.
Oh, absolutely. So it will be easier for me
To use
share.
for WhatsApp, that's fine.
Yeah. I just meant WhatsApp. In fact, whenever we mention cell numbers, primarily we mean that we'll contact via WhatsApp because guess what? It's free. Yeah. So I have your WhatsApp number as well. So thank you so much. I'll be contacting you. And who else? DTM Ali, what about you? You are our CGD, so you're keeping a lion's eye on the meeting and its quality. So, your comments, please. Don't be too harsh, though.
I believe it's a great way to go to an advanced level to challenge the usuals, and I appreciate it's going stretching ourselves, testing our limits, and as I said in the keynote that a person should go too far to see how far one can go. So bringing creativity, innovativeness, challenging the conventional ways, and going extra mile in learning and giving platform to people to test their skills, a variety. I think of a Toastmaster club meeting like a laboratory where you can come and experiment and test and grow together, learn together, and go into the real life world. Because many of the Toastmaster project, they ask you that, do you realize how does this apply to your life outside
Yeah.
Toastmasters? So what is the takeaway? So coming to the meeting of this club, it's like beyond common apprehension. I'm over the moon to attend it, and I will definitely think of coming back more often.
Great, DTM Ali, you're always more than welcome to attend. And since you're also the club growth director, perhaps you think about taking up membership too. Just a suggestion, though. So that will help you, by the
I can think of it, and I'll keep bringing more people. I brought two
Yeah.
today and
Yeah,
shared
please
on
do.
my WhatsApp status, so people do check it and they ask
Great.
for
Yeah, I
links,
found
and
it.
I'll definitely bring more people in.
Thank you so much, Ali, because if there's one thing this club needs, it needs a larger audience because you've seen the content that we try to deliver here and the awareness that we try to create. I believe that it deserves a much greater audience. So anything for that. Toastmaster Amra Yunus, your thoughts?
Thank you so much, DTM Talha. Yes, I have always loved attending the meetings at Toastmasters. Of course, our own club is marvelous. But these, opportunities really, like just Ali said, that it's an opportunity, and he used the right word. This is very close to my heart when I talk about Toastmasters clubs, that it's a laboratory where we bring and we learn the things in a safe environment. And really, I always, something that is, keep coming in my mind is that Toastmasters is really the place where you learn by doing. So you don't have to wait that you'll be something someday and then you will start, learning that skill of public speaking. You start it and you learn it. So this is what I love. This is my second time in Quantum Leap, and I really would like to keep coming regularly. Yeah. So thank you so much, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amra. And for the final comment, we invite DTM Sarfraz, who is our club coach. So please, sir, your comments.
Thank you. I want to thank all the Toastmaster members who joined us. Thank you, DTM Amjad Ali, for your keynote and for your presence. And Beth, thank you for contacting us, and I'm glad that you got my message. And I understand you mentioned, the time difference. I'm in Texas, so it's 1:38.
Ew.
It's
That's
but the good thing is that it's a challenge to evaluate a tabletop speaker and then respond to table topics at about 1 or 1:15 in the morning. If you can do that, then you can do that any other time of the day. And also, Jaya, glad that you joined. This is a good group, and so uniqueness, as we've already witnessed in the table topics, and also the way the evaluations are handled with the lead, one evaluator like other clubs, but then you have 4 evaluators that evaluate or provide feedback on certain aspects, such as the visual or the audibility of the speaker. So please keep joining us. And unlike some, we were not twisted. We don't twist your arms to become a member, but we would love to see you, because just your presence makes a difference. And then not only you were present, but all of you actually participated within the agenda, and that's great. So you are helping us, and the club is helping you grow as an individual and as a Toastmaster. So back to you, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much, DTM Sarfraz, for unleashing the superpowers of emotional blackmailing that Toastmasters learned over the years. It's an under-celebrated and under-reported skill, but by God, it is there. And the interesting thing about Quantum Leap is that we have DTM Swarna from Singapore as one of our founding members. He also attends every now and then. So that means that if we have someone from Singapore and someone from California, the entire globe is covered actually in terms of east to west direction. Thank you so much, DTM Sarfraz, for your presence. And I'll announce the result for the best major role player. Today's best major role player is Toastmaster Imran Rana, our table topics master. Congratulations. So with that, we bring this meeting to a close. I'll stop the